Hey, what's up, everybody? Theta in the house. Looking at the small time frames for a minute, we can see here we are starting to pump up and we are threatening to break this range here. So keep an eye out for that. Let's see if we could break it. It's not a big deal, right? Because we're looking at the small time frames, but essentially we've been just kind of flagging out in here, right? There's always a risk that we have to come back down and revisit the lows before then going back up. So there's always that chance that could happen. Always. Anytime you make a significant low and you get a bounce, a lot of times you have to come back and revisit that low. So anyways, let's see if we can do that. Or also too, sometimes you have to get going, a little bit further up before then coming back down to revisit the low. You know what I mean? So it could take all shapes and sizes. So let's see how this week plays out. So far, it's looking pretty good for this week. I think, if we look, let's take a look at some other charts here. So XRP looks like it could break out this week, right? If you look here, it is fully matured, right? This is fully matured, and let's see if I get to a higher time frame. We've already broken above the downward resistance line here, the supply line. Yeah. We've already broken above that. So you can see, right, we broke above it, we're back testing it, and now we're holding it. So I'm going to keep the line right there. Now I'm going to zoom back in, and you can see how the line is a little bit funky. It's not as perfect. So I'll just slide it up a little bit more. It's better to be more conservative with your trend lines than anything, right? So yeah, XRP has fully matured in this fourth wave, because that's what we're looking at here, right? Is a fourth wave. And we can totally see 1, 2, 3, right? The third ended here, not here, it ended here, right? This wave here is a B wave. Now, it could have been a fifth wave, and it could still be a fifth wave. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then this is gearing up to go down like this, something like that. But I really don't think so. To me, it looks more like an expanded flat, right? You have a correction down, you have a correction up that breaks the top, and it tricks everybody, right? An expanded flat is a double fake out. So we're rolling, up, right? We pull back, everybody's excited, we buy it, we break out, then the rest of everybody who was late, they start piling in, right? But then it crashes down, and then these people get stopped out, and these people get screwed, right? And then it comes back to the middle between this area and this area, right? We're sort of right in the middle between those two areas, right? So this is a break to the downside, this is a break to the upside. And basically the market makers, they know that, right? So they're playing within the boundaries, and it feels like we're going to break down. So people go short in here, right? And then we break to the upside, and then these guys get screwed, and then people flip back to bullish, and then we crash down, and then these guys get screwed, right? So it kind of just messed up everybody's situation, and then it kind of sits in the middle here, just teasing the boundary, right? Is it going to break up? Is it going to break down? It's teasing. So everybody wants it to go up, or a lot of people want it to go down. But nobody wants it to go sideways except for me, right? I like sideways because sideways offers an enormous advantage. The reason why is because look what XRP has done over here, right? Look how sideways this is. We were going sideways for a long time, right? Sideways leads to big breakouts. So sideways is good. If you could work at a job for the next, at your job right now, right? And you work there for the next 3 years, and you get a paycheck depending how much money you make, depending how much money you save, depending how much you're spending, whatever you have left of your paycheck. If, for example, crypto was going sideways for 2 to 3 years, and you put a paycheck, a percentage of it, right? Boom, 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 boom. And then once you break out, you're going to be looking really, really, really good, right? You're going to look like a genius. So that's what it means. Number one, you got a HODL. And number two, you got a DCA, right? And as long as you do those two things for the next 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 6 months, I mean, whatever timeline is appropriate, you could have definitely amounted to a massive XRP bag, right? So, and then once that, because it's not about the price, it's about how many coins you have, right? Because the price 45, right? The 245, the price right now is not going to be the price tomorrow. But the coins you have today will be the coins you have tomorrow unless you continue to stack, right? But it's hard to continue to stack if you don't have conviction or confidence or assurance or anything like that, the belief factor that it will eventually go up. It'll eventually break out into price discovery. That's why we use charts to get our assurances up, our confidence level up, right? And everything in the XRP chart is perfect. It's beautiful. It's the best looking chart out there. Not just this move, but I'm talking about the whole thing, right? Because when you look at, for example, let's pull up a altcoin here. Let's see, who wants to be the... maybe we'll do Dogecoin. Doge is a good example. All right, we'll do Doge. So if you look at Doge, I got to get this. Okay, so this is on the, let's go to the 8-day chart for XRP, and we'll go to the 4-day chart for Doge, because this is, excuse me, this is going to be twice as big, right, as the Doge. But let me get rid of all that. There we go. Let's get rid of all this. There we go. All right, now, actually, we'll just do both the 8-day chart. Okay, so you could see, let me put the cursor on here, right? So Dogecoin, right? First of all, we still need another wave because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Dogecoin got 5. But if you look at XRP, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, but we don't have that monster 5. So I believe that 5th wave is coming, because this right here is a massive version of what this is down here, right? So look what I'm saying here. That's why, again, sideways is good. When did the biggest, first of all, what's one of the most popular bull runs of all time? It was Dogecoin, Elon Musk, Saturday Night, all that stuff, right? Really the Dogecoin, Twitter stuff, all that stuff. That was one of the biggest sort of moves in crypto history. Maybe not so much in percentages that much, but it was definitely huge. It was all over the media, right? But what started it? What started this massive $1 million move here, right? If somebody, let's see, first of all, what is the percentage? I'm not going to go from the bottom, and I'm not going to go from the top. I'm going to go from right in the middle to get an average, and I'm going to go all the way up. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's 30,000%. So that's a lot. I mean, that makes me sad because, man, what I would do. No, it's just not going to happen. XRP is not going to go 30,000%. It's just not going to happen, right? You're going to have to get lucky. You're going to have to pick a coin that is a small cap that goes completely berserk, like buying Solana for the first time, right? Or something crazy like that. But anyway, the way we got this move is we went sideways, 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 and we developed a big base, which allowed this monster move, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's the secret to getting rich is you want sideways. So it doesn't mean you have to get rich today or tomorrow or next year, but I'm saying over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, we're going to be looking for this, right? So if we have a setup, first of all, you got to have the fundamentals, or if it's a meme coin, you got to have, some substance to it, right? But essentially, you got to have the conviction in it, and I don't know if I would be putting every paycheck that I have or a percentage of it into a meme coin. But if this was a regular crypto, paycheck, let's say you do 5% every paycheck and you get paid every 2 weeks. So 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%. You just keep doing it, as long as it's going sideways. If it's crashing, you're not going to be doing that, right? As long as it's in with the confines of the range. If it's blasting into outer space, you're not going to be doing that. Again, most people want the price to go up. But if it goes up, basically all you have is what you have in your bag. And is that sufficient enough to put you at that next level? Or maybe it's plenty enough, right? Or if we're crashing, you don't want to be doing that either because we could continue to go lower. So as long as we're ranging, that's the time to DCA, right? It's not about buy low, sell high. It's about buy sideways and wait and wait and wait and buy. Because the longer the base is, the more opportunity you have to accumulate. Because we can only accumulate based on the time we have. Because we're going to run out of money, right? Most people get paid every 2 weeks or 1 week or 30 days or whatever. So the more paychecks you get, you need more time, right? So if the price allows you more time, because the base might only be 6 months, right? Versus, however long this was, 2 years, right? So from here to the top, right about there, to when we started breaking out, that was about 1,000 days. All right. So now we go back to XRP. This is on another level, right? This is 2,500 days versus 1,000 days. I believe that's right around there. Yeah, about 2,500 days. So we are waiting for that next wave to the upside. So again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the base. This is our base. This is our base right here. And we're waiting for 5. We're waiting for 5. There you go. Right there. So, but look at the difference between how big this was and how massive this is. Right? But that doesn't mean we're going to get a bigger move, because it's all about the percentages. There's no way in hell XRP is going to go up 30,000%. It's just not going to happen, right? Unfortunately. But we could still maybe get up to that $10 to $15 area, which is still pretty good. But still, it's not even It's not even a 10x, right? So here's our little area here, and then I'm just going to put this area right here. And you can see there's one more little area sideways in here, and there's another little area sideways right there. And you can see kind of that's your retrace in there. Here's your retrace here, right there. All right, so it's pretty clear and identifiable. And then you have your base down here, right? Your first wave, your first wave. I mean, look at that. It's perfect, right? So where are we on this thing? Well, if you look closely, let's do this, and let's go down to the 4 hour. And let's see if we can go back in time here. All the way back over here. So I believe we're somewhere right around here. So let's get rid of that. And let's look at Dogecoin back in the day here. And we could put up XRP. Where was XRP during this time? Okay, so XRP, yeah, so here was the run up, right? They were both really gearing up. And then right as they were about to explode, this is when Dogecoin exploded. That you can see right here. Look how sinister this is. This was a time coordinated attack, because if you look, as soon as we started pushing higher right here, as soon as we started breaking out, we were flagging out, and that's when we were going to go on the run. This was the beginning of the 30,000% run. Unbelievable. That is exactly when the XRP price just tanked because they got sued, the SEC, right? So maybe we don't go to $10. Maybe we go to $20, $30, right? Because of all the damage that they did back in the day here, right? So then we had to go sideways for a lot longer, and then we finally had a little bit of a pop. But you can see, now let's get rid of that. All right, and now let's look at this. And look at that. You can see, beautiful. Look at that. We have this impulse, right? We have a 3-wave move down. We have a 3-wave move up. And we have another 3-wave move down. We have a WXY. It's kind of a little bit of a weird running flat, if you will. Or, yeah, so you could say you got 3 up, you got 3 down. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now let's look at XRP at that same spot. And there you go. This is basically the two different spots. Now, which one I like better? Obviously, I mean, I like the Doge better because it's clean and it's smooth and it's, but XRP is just as nice looking. It's a little bit confusing. All of this is a little bit weird, but since this is twice as big, I mean, wait 1 second. Let's put this up to like the 3-day chart. There we go. So anyways, kind of a side-by-side comparison of what it looked like back in the day here, right? So look at that. We're expecting a massive breakout. So let's go back to XRP now. Actually, if we look at Dogecoin again, zoomed out here, let's zoom out a little bit more. Where did Dogecoin get to? Right? So in other words, what was the target for Dogecoin? Well, if I take a Fibonacci and I put it here, and then I come down, you can see we totally blew right past the 4.236. Right? We went way beyond that. But basically that wave got us to the 4.236. All right? So that's the equivalent of XRP hitting $9, $10, $11, $12, $13. Probably like that $11 area. But if we put this to log scale, where did Dogecoin then go? Look at that. Dogecoin, let's see here, hit, there we go. It was a little bit messed up there. Dogecoin hit the 2.272. Wow. So it went all the way up to the 2.272 and the 2. Really the 2, right? So we'll be conservative and we'll say the 2. And we'll be even more conservative and we'll say the 1.79. I mean, we went way beyond that. But 1.79, 2, and 2.272. Okay, fair enough. Now, let's do the same calculation with XRP. So if you look at XRP here, right? Because again, what are we doing here? We're measuring the fourth wave, right? 1, 2, 3, and we have a big base for 4, and then we get the big 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our big base 4, and then we're waiting for that 5. So we're going to measure this base like how we did with Dogecoin. So let's do that now. So if we take a Fibonacci line, it's probably going to be a crazy number, but let's take a look at it anyway. And we're going to come all the way down. We could come all the way down to the wick of the C19, and we're just going to do it there. All right. So where did Dogecoin hit again? The 2.272. Where's the 2.272 at? It's at 247, 47, 47, 47, 240, 47, 47, $247. Oh my God! Can you imagine that? That would be remarkable. And remember, Dogecoin went up 30,000%. So if I go to the middle and I go all the way up to the 2.272, that actually gives us more than that. That gives us like 50,000% almost. But let's see, where would that 30,000 area go? Because I didn't go from the bottom, I didn't go from the top. I mean, it really depends where you go. But I'm going to start it at the 618. And I'm going to go up 30,000%. Well, look, would you look at that? That's right around the 2.272, the same 30,000% that Dogecoin did. Now, again, I'm not saying it's going to $50 or $100 or $200 or $250. But what I'm saying is, if Dogecoin had that same situation, right? I mean, it looks exactly the same, the structure here. This same thing, right? You got the rise, the crash, the retrace. It's a little bit different, but essentially you came down, you went into reaccumulation, right? You developed a nice, and look how tight the range was. See, XRP's range is thicker, right? A Dogecoin's range, let's see, if we use a percentage tool, the top here, not really counting the wick. I mean, that was about 1,000%. That was a 10x range versus something like XRP. I think it's a lot more. Let's see. We'll go from there to the top. I mean, to the top of the retrace is about that 900%. So it's about the same, maybe a little bit bigger, right? So, but the Dogecoin one looks a lot tighter. Look how tight that looks. It looks really, really tight. And that's what allowed us to get that massive move, right? So if I bump this up to like the 6-week chart here, right? And there we go. So yeah, the 2.27, that's pretty crazy. What was that again? 200 and something dollars. So if Dogecoin, and remember here, where was I going with that was Dogecoin's base was only this big. That's how big it was. And it led to that massive move. But XRP has more than twice the amount of structure, time, and base, right? Look how massive this thing is compared to Dogecoin. So we don't really know. We don't have an example we can look to say, here is a crypto that went sideways for 7 years in a wave 4 that had a 2.5, 3-year reaccumulation phase. We don't have an example we can look at to say, yeah, that's where the price went. It went to this number. It went to this percentage. We don't have that with XRP, right? Because the biggest basis we got is back here. We don't have anything near this size. So what I'm saying here is, if that statement is true, the bigger the base, the higher in space, then what if we see something a lot bigger than $8, $9, $10? What if we see something more like $20, $30, $50? I mean, I'm not in that camp I'm just letting you know that right now. I don't believe that, but I'm saying it is possible that we can see something we've never seen before because how massive this structure is, right? There's no crypto on the planet that has a structure that's this big and that tight. This is the 6-week chart, guys. This isn't the weekly, this isn't the 2-week, this isn't the monthly. This is the 6-week chart. Look how massive this thing is. It's huge. There's nothing else like it. Which means if we get a legit breakout, this thing can go higher and further than we think, right? Simply because it didn't get to remember, Solana went on a bull run, Matic went on a bull run, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all of them, right? I mean, the list goes on and on. Theta, all of them, right? They all went on a big bull run in 2021, right? Dogecoin, right? But XRP went into a retrace. So essentially, the rest of the market is up here, but you have to understand we also had a bear market and, you know, things like that. But essentially, XRP is a bull run behind. So not only does it have the biggest base in crypto, but it also is a bull run behind because it didn't go in a bull run back over here. It only went into the upper part of the range, right? Here's our range. We were basically just going back to the top of the range, right? So all of that lost time, lost price, pent-up demand, all of that could come later on and we could get a big extended wave here. So that's all I'm saying. That don't think, oh, it's $8, $9, $10 and it's a done deal. It really depends on the rest of the market. And then the biggest thing also, it really depends also if we get a mid-cycle correction. For example, if XRP like pops up here in a wave 5, you know, $8, $9, $10, and or maybe it's only $5 or $6, and then we kind of flag out all summer, and then October, November, December hits, and then we have one more hit to the high like we did back over here. That could really transform everything just by having that mid-cycle correction. Because you know, when we look at the rest of the market like Theta, you can see Theta is not really matured. To me, Theta looks like we have 3 waves up, we have 3 waves down, and it looks to me like we need another at least 3 or 5 waves up to make it an actual 3-wave retrace, right? So as XRP makes that 5th wave, Theta gets a retrace, but then the question becomes, then is the bear market, does it start here, right? Or do we flag out and we start to break higher? Or do we have to come down for maybe a little bit longer of a mid-cycle correction? Maybe it lasts throughout the rest of the year into next spring and basically going into reaccumulation. So you have a rise, a crash, a retrace, you come down into reaccumulation, you go sideways, and then you break out, right? So we might have, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, again, when you compare that to XRP here, right? We had this 1, 2, 3 wave move up. So if this is a 1, 2, 3 wave move up, and then we have 3 down, well, once we get that move up, or this move up, that's when we can get the 5th wave, right? So then it becomes, well, maybe the bear market is in now, or yeah. So then once we get there, then we top, then we start coming down. This starts pulling back, right? And actually, let me do that again here because it's such a big. Don't pay attention to all this time here. I'm just using the drawings as an example, but I think I have to, let me tone it down a little bit here. There we go. And then I'm going to put this at the weekly. So I'll just do it both the same, okay? But yeah, so XRP, we want to see that 5th wave, right? And then that's when we can get our 3-wave move up in a retrace, right? Then we start pulling back, and then that's when we start pulling back as well. We start flagging out here, right? And then we kind of go sideways a little bit, right? Into reaccumulation, maybe go sideways into reaccumulation, and then we get that breakout, and then that's when either XRP has a retrace or even maybe one more high, right? So that's one way to look at it. There's no sense of me looking out that far. So the first order of business, right, is to get this 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave. And as we get that fifth wave, we want to see Theta, not just Theta, but just using it as an example, all the other coins as well, because Theta has a beautiful 3-way pullback. We want it to come back, at least get a retrace. But in reality, we want to break that and get a little bit higher here, right? And then that's when the market could be finished. That's when the bear market could be end, right? That's when everything could be starting. But for Theta, it's not a bear market because we've never been in a bull market. For Theta, it's continuing the bear market, right? Because Theta has been in a bear market since 21, right? So it's been in a bear market this entire time. So how could we go into a bear market if we've never been in a bull market? You see what I mean? So basically what we would do is we would have something like this, right? And then down, and then down, and then sideways, and then a break, right? And all that could take some time. But it doesn't mean like, oh, we have a brand new bear market we're going to be starting. Yes, probably more so for Bitcoin, right? But then once Bitcoin goes into a retrace, well, guess what? Theta has been in a bear market. So it's ranging, right? We're ranging from the top to the bottom. Now we want to look back to the top, and then one more back to the middle, and then continue. So if you use that, remember, it's not financial advice. I could be wrong, but everybody working a job, getting a paycheck, we're going sideways here. But I mean, that to me, I would be dollar cost averaging Theta like there's no tomorrow. The reason why is not because I believe that we're going to break out into a new all-time high, but I believe that we're probably going to get another wave back into the retrace levels, and then we're most likely going to go into some type of sideways reaccumulation, and that's what I want. Nobody in crypto says, "Oh, I want to go sideways," because they all want to get rich tomorrow, but they don't have enough coins because they didn't spend enough time buying. But if you would invest the time going sideways, right, then you can have more coins. So, and then once it eventually breaks out, you're going to have so many more coins, you're not going to even believe how many coins you actually have, because you spent year after year, paycheck after paycheck, putting 5% of your paycheck in to a crypto, right? And in a couple years, most people don't do that though. They just buy maybe once or twice, and they want the price to immediately go up. So I buy $1,000 worth of XRP, and I want the price to go immediately up. But let's say I didn't get my wish, and I bought $1,000 worth of XRP, right, over here, and it kept going sideways. Bought 1,000 more, kept going sideways. Bought 1,000 more, kept going sideways. Bought 1,000 more, kept going sideways. And then once you break out, oh man, now you're talking serious money, right? So if you don't have a fat bag, then you should want the price to not go up or go down. You should want the price to go sideways. If you have plenty of crypto and you are satisfied with what you have, then it doesn't matter if we break up. You actually want it to go up, right? Or if you sold and now the price is a little bit higher, you want the price to come down, right? That's why I would never sell, especially not right now. But if people did panic sell, remember we had a massive dump to the downside that you could see over here, right? We've been dumping here. So if people sold, right? Well, guess what? Now we're towards the bottom. Now it's a good time to DCA, right? So, but yeah, you can see this is the weekly chart. Look how beautiful it looks. Look at that. Look at the doji down here. Look at the reversal. It's starting to reverse. And another reason why it's reversing is because if you look at the size of this wave and look at the size of that wave, they're basically identical of how big they are. So from the top to the bottom, and then I pull it over here. Look at that. It's actually a little bit taller. So waves of equal length. And not only that, but you have this 3-wave B wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, 1, 2, 3 B, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C, right? So you have an A, B, C. So to me, we're going to flatten out here. To me, this is the low, and to me, this is where we should be buying like crazy, right? So depending how, and hopefully we can go, I don't want the price to go up. I want the price to go sideways because then I can get more, right? Because everybody's in a rush for the price to go up to get rich. But people should want to have more coins for that because, you know, it only comes once. It doesn't, it's not like we get these big moves every day, you know. So you want to be prepared for when they happen. And the best way to be prepared is to stack like there's no tomorrow, right? And if you buy, let's say you're buying and then the price goes lower, and then the worst thing you can do is panic and then sell because then you ate the loss, right? You ate it instead of just dealing with it and buying more. And you can say, well, I already bought more. Well, buy more, right? I mean, as long as you're getting a monthly, as long as you're getting a paycheck every week or two, you're getting money every couple weeks. What is it? To me, that's just my philosophy, right? But again, that's not financial advice. And you got to pick the right crypto because God forbid you spend 3 years buying a crypto and then it just completely dies. I mean, that would be really devastating, right? Because more risk, more reward, right? So anyways, I think if you believe in the coin, which Theta, I believe it'll be around for a while. You know, unless they come out with something that just completely, you know, what if there's a new internet that comes out that doesn't require a hookup or fiber optics or bandwidth or anything like that? What if it's just a completely different situation? I mean, you know, it's just really hard to know. But all I can rely on is the price. And the next move that I see on the horizon is a move back to the retrace levels. That's where I'm targeting right now. So once we get there, the strategy then is, well, how does it look? Does it look impulsive? Does it look 3-wave-ish? Does it look like it's got 5 waves? Does it look like it's a diag? Does it look like it's moving up correctively or impulsively, right? Those are going to be the signals to give us the edge of, is it going to break to the upside or is it going to continue down? Because if Theta is going to continue crashing to the downside, it's not going to do it from here. No. It's going to go up first and then go down. So no matter what, we're expecting to move up. Once we get up there, we want to get back to the top of there. We don't want to, okay, so here's the fib levels right here. Right? So so here is the 702 and the 618 right there. And then obviously here's the top. And then here is the target area right up there. Whoops, somewhere right there. There we go. And then we get rid of this. There you go. So once we get up here, we need to, hopefully it's in 5 waves. But first, maybe we come back down, we develop a little bit of a base. Because we want a little bit of a base, kind of like down here, kind of like over here. Right? Get a little bit of a base, a platform to build off of. And then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. And then we flag out, right? And then we pop the high and we get to the top here, right? And then hopefully we can get a little bit sideways here and then boom. So something like that. That's kind of what I'm expecting. If we get up here in 3 waves, then we can possibly have to come down into some kind of reaccumulation before going back up. Or if we get stuck here, that could be the end of the move. So those are the routes that I'm looking at. You can see there's 3 of them, but all of them say we should at least get up a little bit higher. Now, if this comes up and takes the low, then I'm going to look at this like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4, 5. 1, 2, all of that's 3. Then we get 4, then 5. And then that's the low, and then we just, basically it just shifts everything over a little bit. So, H-bar, man, flagging out, looking good, waiting for the break. Pretty simple. ADA, I just don't like those 2 candles. It looks hideous, but, you know, it is what it is. But we're still flagging out. It's looking really good. We got a nice impulse, and we're flagging out. Everybody's bearish. You got the fear and greed index. You got the sentiment. You got the tariffs. Trump said maybe the tariffs won't go on, so hardcore, right? But tariffs are a good thing at negotiations. So a lot of people don't understand how tariffs actually work. They're in fear that the prices are going to go up. But what it really is a deterrent. So if I'm the president of the United States, do I want you to buy an American car or a German car? I want you to buy an American car because American cars have American employment, at least some of the time, right? So, and a tariff on a German car or European wine or French wine versus American whiskey or whatever, instead of buying that French wine, I can buy some American wine that's just as good, right? And with the tariffs on that French wine, just using it as an example, it's going to push the price up for that wine. And me, as an American consumer, looks at the price, and I would rather just buy the American wine because it's maybe cheaper or relatively in the same price range. So, and it basically, it deters people from buying international products versus buying American products. I mean, that's part of the strategy with the tariff is to encourage people to build in the United States, right? Hey, if you don't want a 200% tariff on your product, then I want you to make your product in the United States, and you won't get that tariff. That's one tactic he's using. Another tactic, obviously, is for tax reasons, right? So building up our cash reserves because our country is pretty much bankrupt. We're just using a debt-based system, and I talked about that in last video. And but anyways, it's all coming to fruition. It's all coming to a point in history where everybody can make a decision and decide, do they want to continue down this deep state corrupt situation where their money is being stolen through inflation, taxes, and everything else, or somebody can show us a new way, a new system, a new a way of doing things where we're not so dependent on foreign goods or things like that. So tariffs will allow America to be more independent, right? They're not going to be a forever solution. This is a temporary thing that's happening. So, it's really about getting the other countries to pay their fair share, or if they don't want to pay it, then you got to drop your tariff, right? Why does the EU charge us 50% for our whiskey? Why? Why can't it be 0%? And if you do 50%, well, guess what? We're going to do 200% on your wine. I mean, that's just the way it's going to go. So a lot of people don't like Trump because of the tariffs, but they don't understand the reality that we're raking in billions and billions of dollars with these tariffs. And that money is going to be used to pay down the debt, and it's also going to help with inflation. The fake news will say it's going to make inflation worse because people are spending more money to get these products across, but where's the money going? It's going to the United States, right? I think that's about it. I mean, basically, Filecoin looks like it needs a retrace, right? Matic looks like it needs a retrace. Matic, if Matic went up, to me it would just come back down. To me, Matic needs a little bit of work here, a little bit of sideways work, and then I don't know. Matic's a tough one because of, it's not so tough. You got 3 down, right? You got 3 up, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So if we can kind of create a base and then get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up and then flag out, get away from the scene of the crime, that would be sort of my main idea for Matic. Disregard the time down there. I don't know how long it's going to take. That's always very hard to know. XLM is another one you got to really pay attention to. I don't sleep on XLM, all I have to say, because this thing right here looks like one of the best looking flags just from a tightness perspective. Look how tight it was down here. It's really tight down here, and look how tight the flag is, so a tighter flag leads to a bigger bust to the upside. So we have this area here at the top, and we have this area. I mean, it's essentially the same thing as XRP. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. You got to break out. Now you're flagging out, right? And then you get that finishing move to the upside. So I think that's coming very soon. Small time frames, really nothing there. Small time frames are a little, I mean, you kind of have, you could say a little ascending triangle here. It looks good. I like the horizontal. So that could break out, meet the measured move, then pull back later. But a lot of these charts, I feel like they're going to come up and they're going to have to come back down at some point, then go sideways, then break out. It's just kind of the way it happens. So Algo's on the move. I did not get to buy any Algo though. We got 3 waves up, we got 3 waves down, and then hopefully this is 1, 2, 3 waves up, but hopefully it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. That's what I'd like to see. 5 up. Litecoin kind of doing the same thing. You got a little bit of a triangle here, a little bit of ascending triangle. Typically they break to the upside, but even if it breaks to the downside, that wouldn't be a bad thing, because a lot of times, again, you retest the lows. Let's see, is there any examples here? Kind of like over here, you didn't really test the low, but you built a base, you came up, and then you had to at least back test the range here. Or here was a big dump, right? You came all the way up, and then you had to come down a little bit. So translation to that, I mean, we still haven't had the move up. We're basically kind of going sideways. So let's get the move up first and then pull back and then kind of see something like that. But I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited for this week and next week, and I want to see some progress here. I mean, look what we had to go through, right? We had this much fun, right? We had to go through all the pain, suffer, torture. We had a little tiny bit of fun, and then guess what? We had to go through all of this crap, right? So eventually this move should come and the fun, let the good times roll, right? So that's kind of what we're waiting for. The other idea is that we have one more wave down, right? So we're flagging out here and we're going to have one more wave down. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3, flag out for a 4, then get 5. So we have 3 down, 3 up, and then this 3 wave move down, and then this C wave could potentially have 5 waves, and then you go up. So those are the two ideas for Litecoin. Do we go up now, or do we have to have one more low then go up, right? So as far as like getting 30,000% for Dogecoin, maybe Dog can give us a good percentage. Dog looks like, because if you want a massive home run, it's going to have a lot of risk involved with the coin, right? Because most of the time they have to be a small cap coin, right? They have to be under $1 billion to really, really, really accelerate those percentages. I wonder what market cap Dogecoin was at before it went up into that 30,000%, and then compare that with the rest of the market within the same category of price, right? But Dog looks really good. Remember before when we first looked at Dog, we were looking at this as a diag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 5th, and then we wanted to flag out and then continue. But this was a B wave, right? So we have an impulse, we have an A, B, and a C, right? So we have a 3-wave pullback, just how like Theta had a 3-wave pullback. Where was Theta at? Oh, okay, yeah. So this 3-wave pullback is the same size as Theta. All right. So, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down in C. We had divergence. And now if you look closely, look at this candle right here, beautiful doji. And we came up and look what we're doing. We're flagging out. We're flagging out in here. So I'm bullish on Dog for sure. And if not financial advice, but coins like this give us a lot more bang for our buck if it's correct. Again, there's a lot more risk involved, but if we get it right, there's a lot more reward. All right. So this coin is I think going to be a good meme coin. It's the Bitcoin poster child. It's the Bitcoin meme coin, right? It's the Bitcoin. Dog is. I think it's on the Bitcoin. Something with Bitcoin. So, but anyway, I think it could be a good contender, especially because of the shape of the wave. So if we get a big move up, let's see here, all the way down. Remember, Dogecoin hit the 2.272, so that would put it at like 10 cents. And it's not that big of a range. Just to get back to the top, I mean, that's only 400%. It's really not that big, right? But to get to the 2.272, now you're looking at like 5,000%, which is really good. If we take this and we put it to regular scale, you're really only looking at, between 15 and 20x, which is still really good, right? Because when we look at XRP, we're only looking at like another 300-400x, or 3 to 400%, right? So let's see if we can, let's zoom in a little bit here. It's not as pretty when you zoom in, but it's still got that flag look to it. But we only have 3 up. So I'm wondering if this has to come back down, how would that look? I don't think so though. I think it's primed for a move to the upside, but I just don't like, let's see here, the way it's shaped. I mean, we have 3. That's 3 there. 3, come on, 3 down. Okay. Is this 3 up here? Or is it 3 up here? Probably 3 up here. Okay. That's 3 up. And then what do you should get then? Now you should get 1, 2, 3 down. There you go. And break that liquidity. Because there's a lot of liquidity here. Break the liquidity, get everybody bearish, and then take it up. That's kind of what I would wait for. If I'm going to get an entry, I want to see it break this range, either to the top or to the bottom. That's kind of how I'm waiting for it. Axelar. See, Axelar went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it came all the way down to the bottom. So it already had a double bottom, right? Most coins are just flagging out now, but Axelar had a bottom, and then it had a double bottom. It already came back down to revisit the low. So you can see how we're flagging up like this, and then we have to come all the way down to the low. Now that could be the same thing what Theta does. See, we're flagging up like this, and we might have to come revisit the low before going up. Same thing what Axelar did. So that's kind of, we have to see if that plays. But anyway, that'll do it for this video. I appreciate everybody for oh, by the way, over the weekend we went out, big campsite. I mean, there was hundreds and hundreds of trailers out there, kind of near King of the Hammers, Johnson Valley area, out there riding the 4x4, side by side, dirt bikes, just hanging out, man, having a good time. Those things, we went side by on those 4-wheelers, man, and I freaking, one of those things, I popped the tire, the back tire, man. It was pretty crazy. We were going up these big old hills, some sand dunes. That's right next to the 40. Let's see. So this is ours right here. That's my dad's. And we were rolling with a few other people on this ride here. Let's see here. Yeah, that's when we were all about to go for a ride. That was pretty cool, actually. I was on my bike. There we go. We were on the ride, and then we stopped for a little while. They had a couple beers, and then they kept going. Not for me, though. I'm not a drinker, but some of those dudes were. But don't drink and drive, right? But yeah, that's kind of what we did over the weekend. It's really beautiful out there, man, when it's just nice temperature, nice cool breeze out there in the middle of nowhere. There's my bike, and that's my son Ethan. I named him after Ethereum. We call him ETH for Ethan. No. Can you imagine? No, but seriously, that's his name is Ethan, so we call him ETH. But unlike Ethereum, he's not slow. All right, let's see what else here. We're out in the desert there. And they got some pretty cool ones, man. This one looks really cool. I like the way that one looks. So anyways, I will catch you guys on the next one. Have a good rest of the week, and cheers.